right? But you want dudes in the building on their off day. You want them trying to watch extra film. You want them there to try to get a workout. You want them trying to meet with their coach because that's how you win.
Right.
But Dallas is different. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure you can go to the Applebee's in Wisconsin and they treat you to a dessert.
Absolutely.
I'm absolutely sure.
Absolutely.
But that ain't Nick and Sam's.
There we go.
You feel me? Like that ain't some of these other.
It's a bit different.
You could go to TGI Fridays and get an extra brownie.
That's right.
But you know what I mean? That ain't Komodo.
Dallas different.
Yeah,
Dallas different.
And so like and the other thing I want to say is this though about Micah Parsons and what he's saying. I'm not going to sit on here and say that his intention was to take a shot at the Dallas Cowboys players because those dudes, in my opinion, showed up for Micah Parsons.
They did.
Whether it was changing their profile pictures, whether it was speaking on the fact that he'd earned his money, that he deserved his money. And even for Micah Parsons, many times saying, I want to be with these dudes. I want to work with these dudes. Yes, it can be interpreted that way, but the one thing you're supposed to do when you go to a new place is ingratiate yourself to the locker room, and that's a way to do it, by speaking on the professionalism and the effort of your new teammates.
Yeah, so it seems like both sides have kind of subtly taken a shot here or there with some of their words that have been politically correct and justified with where I am now, while also subtly taking or making a point of like this or this about that player, this, that. I know this. Micah's 1-0 and maybe not playing the game for the Packers, but anybody who knows ball watched that game last night and said, if they had Micah Parsons, the Cowboys win that game. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So advantage Micah. Like whether it's locker room, what it's like, culture-wise, people showing up, advantage Micah. And now Micah gets to play against a division rival.
Right.
And Micah has the opportunity to go 2-0 and get another win. And so at the end of the day, whether there's shots getting taken through the media or not, or it's intentional or not, or truthful or not, Micah got to sit there last night and watch a pass rush not get home to a divisional rival quarterback and sit there and say, I would have gotten home. And that might have been a difference in the game. And then he's going to have the opportunity to do it against a team that was, I think, the 1 seed in the NFC last year, in the Dallas Cowboys, and say,
Detroit.
The Detroit Lions, and say, I can get 2-0. And so whatever wants to get said, at the end of the day, that's the best result.
And I'm going to say this right now, he is 2-0 though, Stephen A. He's 2-0 because Jerry Jones either thought the options were Micah Parsons signs this contract for the amount of money I'd offered him, or Micah Parsons plays under the franchise tag. And neither of those things happen, on top of Micah Parsons going out and obliterating the highest non-paid quarterback in the history of the NFL. Yeah. And then you watch that game and you say what you just said, and now he gets an opportunity to not only go make an impact for the Green Bay Packers, but make an impact that may land them in the Super Bowl.
Well, here's the deal. To trade him within the same conference to a clear playoff team, elevating them, who, by the way, is one of, if not the youngest team in the National Football League. That was alarming enough. This whole situation has this written all over it, where the Dallas Cowboys are better than we expected. They get to the playoffs potentially, and then they run into Green Bay, and Micah just slaughters them. This just has that picture written all over.
You need to stop. You need to stop acting in soap opera and write one.
Yeah. Why?
As Stephen A. World's turn.
Yo, bro, I could write soap operas. I really could.
Yeah, we're aware.
I really could.
You with a flair for dramatics?
No. You need the weekend. You need the weekend.
I don't need to do it. I'm busy enough. But I'm saying there's a few storylines I throw into the soap opera mix. I'm telling you, you'd be pretty good.
You'd be a lead man?
Yeah, we're aware.
That's the situation.
Yeah.
I'm going to do love scenes.
Oh God, please no. Please.
It would ruin my life.
Okay.
Legitimately.
Right. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna text all of y'all.
Okay,
Yo, man, it's coming up. By the way, Molly, show some love. Molly, show some love. Show some love. Molly. Let me take it. I'm gonna be on General Hospital Friday the 12th, next Friday. And then Monday.
Well, thanks. I can go to bed tonight. But the 12th?
Go ahead, Adam.
2003.
What is it? TiVo, DVR, whatever.
No, TiVo's worse.
I think you just stream it.
Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn and all the Detroit assistants are, and then tell me when they leave, it's not going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem against the Packer defense that's underrated. 6th in EPA last year, despite not having Micah Parsons. Few know this, but LaFleur is a very fast starter in Green Bay. First 3 weeks of the season, I believe it's somewhere around 15-3 against the spread since 2019. I like the Packers to jump on the Lions here.
Okay, let me bring it back to the group here and look at the critical game right off the bat in the NFC North. Why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because foot and ball, it's not going to be a problem. Because the loss of coordinators, I think that the formula is there. Campbell will get it right. I mean, last night we saw what a new coordinator can do if you just stick to the script. I still think the culture is there, the toughness is there of Detroit.
I went to training camp, and I was actually talking to their PR manager, and they said they expected to lose Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn the year before.
2 years ago,
and
yeah.
so they felt like they were sort of grooming Kelvin Shepard. They were grooming Johnny Morton to take over the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. They thought that extra year helped them prepare their coordinators for this season.
Yeah, the coordinator losses matter to me. I really believe that. I can't sit here and rave about Ben Johnson in the last 3 years. And, hey, man, this guy's the best play caller in football, or one of them, and think it's not going to be felt. I also would sit there and go, that interior of the offensive line for Detroit, that was such a strength. There's kind of 3 new pieces. They're going to start a rookie at left guard, a second-year player, Tate Ratledge at right guard, good player, but new. And then Frank Ragnow was the best center in football. That is just a big loss for that football team.
I look at Jared Goff. This is a guy who went to a Super Bowl. He went to the NFC Championship game. They were the #1 seed with 15 regular season wins. And even so, 10 years into his career, people are still saying, well, Ben Johnson's not there, then gosh, this team's got to go down the tubes. And he dealt with the same stuff when Sean McVay wasn't his offensive coordinator. The 1 year he didn't have Ben Johnson or Sean McVay was when Anthony Lynn was the offensive coordinator, and he did not play well. So it is fascinating to see how Jared Goff comes out of the gates. I can't believe he still has doubters, and yet in year 10, after all the Pro Bowls and all the accomplishments, people are still saying, yeah, but it's Jared Goff.
I feel like the Lions are flying under the radar. They were the best team in the NFL last year until they lost